The pink slip felt like a brand, a cruel mark of an uncertain future, a mark of shame seared into his soul, a constant reminder of his sudden fall from stability. Abdul, a man who always prided himself on providing for his family, was now jobless, his identity shaken to its core. The factory, his lifeblood for 20 years, had shut down, leaving him adrift in a sea of uncertainty, with no clear direction. The severance package, a meager raft in this storm, wouldn't last long, barely enough to keep them afloat for a few months. His wife, Mary, tried to mask her worry, but her forced smile couldn't hide the tremor in her hands, a silent testament to her own fears. Their 2 children, too young to grasp the gravity of the situation, remained oblivious, their laughter a painful reminder of the life he was struggling to preserve, a life that now seemed so fragile. John, I spent the initial days scouring job boards, my hope flickering with each application sent, clinging to the belief that something would come through. Each rejection felt like a punch to the gut, chipping away at my resolve, making the future seem even more daunting. The once confident provider was now plagued by self-doubt, my days painted with the stark reality of our dwindling savings, each day a reminder of our precarious situation. Sleep offered no escape, his nights haunted by nightmares of eviction notices and empty cupboards, the weight of his responsibilities pressing down on him. The laughter of his children, once a source of joy, now echoed with the fear of an uncertain future, a future he felt slipping through his fingers. He tried to shield Mary from the crushing weight of their situation, but the truth was an unwelcome guest that couldn't be ignored, a shadow that loomed over their every moment. The grocery bills piled up, each one a testament to their shrinking safety net, a constant reminder of the financial strain they were under. The weight of their plight pressed down on him, suffocating his spirit, making each day a battle against despair. Every failed interview, every unanswered application chipped away at his hope, leaving him teetering on the precipice of despair, wondering how much longer he could hold on. Weeks morphed into months, and the rejections continued to pile up, each one a dagger to his already wounded pride. John's once bright optimism had faded, replaced by a gnawing anxiety that clung to him like a shroud, suffocating his spirit and clouding his thoughts. The life he had built, the future he had envisioned, seemed to crumble around him with each passing day, like a house of cards collapsing under the weight of despair. His days were spent in a blur of dead-end interviews and menial jobs that barely covered the cost of transportation, let alone the mounting bills and expenses. John. The shame of accepting handouts from my brother-in-law gnawed at my pride, a constant reminder of my failure to provide for my family, a failure that haunted my every waking moment. I saw the strain on Mary's face, the worry etched into the lines around her eyes, deepening with each passing day as our financial situation grew more dire. Her once vibrant laughter was now a muted echo, silenced by the constant pressure of our situation, a pressure that seemed to crush the joy out of our lives. The children, their innocence slowly fading, began to understand that something was wrong. Their once carefree days now shadowed by the weight of our struggles. Their once carefree laughter was now punctuated by moments of silence, their eyes reflecting the fear they saw in their parents, a fear that they were too young to fully comprehend, but could feel deeply. One evening, while walking home from another fruitless job hunt, John stumbled upon a familiar face, a ghost from his past that he never expected to see again. It was Marco, an old acquaintance from his younger, wilder days, a man who had always seemed to find a way to thrive in the shadows. Marco, with a knowing smirk and a swagger in his step, offered John a way out, a chance to claw his way back from the brink, a proposition that was as dangerous as it was tempting. John, the proposition was simple, dangerous, illegal, and incredibly tempting, a lifeline thrown to a drowning man. The thought of trafficking drugs sent a chill down my spine, a stark contrast to the warmth of the setting sun painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. A beautiful backdrop to an ugly decision. My conscience screamed in protest, but the desperate pleas of my family echoed louder, drowning out the voice of reason with the sound of their need. My mind, a battleground of right and wrong, wrestled with the decision, the stakes higher than they had ever been before. The allure of easy money, of finally being able to provide for my family again, was a powerful drug in itself, a temptation that was almost impossible to resist. With the weight of his family's future pressing down on him, the burden was almost unbearable. John made a fateful decision, one that would change the course of his life forever. The path he chose was fraught with danger, filled with shadows and uncertainty, but it also held the promise of a way out. As he took his first step into the world of drug trafficking, the lines between right and wrong blurred, making it hard to distinguish friend from foe, leaving him to navigate a treacherous terrain where every decision could be his last. The road ahead was uncertain, filled with peril and potential pitfalls, but in the midst of the chaos, there was a glimmer of hope. A chance to reclaim the life he had lost, to mend broken bonds and perhaps to find redemption along the way.